And hello everyone, welcome back to another Bootstrap tutorial. Now a lot of times you want to show the user progress or maybe just show them how that something's busy loading. And that's fairly easy to do in Bootstrap. So first we have a progress div. And this will just contain the progress bar itself, because the progress bar has like a little background invisibility thing going on. And then in here, and this will of course just give us nothing, but then in here we can create another div with the class name of progress bar, because this would be the bar. And then you can give it a width. For example, style is equal to width 70%. So if it's 70% full. And one thing we should maybe include is right here in Bootstrap, we should have a JS bundle. As you can see here, bootstrap bundle js.min. Do we have a min? No, we don't have a min specifically, but there we go. Bootstrap bundle min.js. We want that, otherwise it won't work. So bootstrap.bundle.min.js. There we go. And here I forgot to go progress, not progress. And there we go. Now we have a little progress. Let's just maybe give it a margin of 2 so we can see it. There we go. So as you can see, there's a little progress bar right there. You might want to just give this a class of bg secondary so we can see it. There we go. And you see there's a little progress bar. And this is much easier managed than progress bars in HTML. Because all you need to do is you need to change the styling here. To instead of being 70%, we can make it 50%. And this is a lot easier, personally for me, to manage and get everything correct. And this can, of course, go up to 100%. And then it will take 100% of the width. And with HTML progress bars, they were usually just limited. You couldn't really style them. You couldn't actually touch them at all. And oftentimes, they just won't even work. So here you have the option to actually style them a lot. For example, let's say you want to have a small progress bar. Well, usually I don't like bring CSS in here, but style and then height and just make that 10 pixels. And then we can just make this width maybe 80%. And then also make the height here 10% or pixels. And it should be a style. And now it's smaller. And that was super easy. All we had to do was add a style tag and say height is 10 pixels. But of course, this isn't a CSS course, so I'm not going to stick too long to that. Because why would we want styling when we're working with Bootstrap, am I right? The nice part here is also, it's very easy to give it a label or just not give it a label, where with HTML it was also a little bit difficult to do that. Here we just say 80%. And this here is very easy to manage in JavaScript as well. And of course, the only downside is this won't be in the center of this progress. It will just kind of be there, which is disgusting. But I think to get it in the center, you could possibly do that. No, that will not get in the center. That sucks. But there is a way to get around that. I'm just not in a mood to figure that out at the moment. But as easy as that, you have added this right here. So now we go 50. It will say 50. And that's very easy to manage with JavaScript, where you make this increase while this increases. And then I'm not going to stay too long with this, but of course you can go BG and then change the background to, let's say, success. And now it's a green progress bar, or danger. And that's a red progress bar. Now you're a hacker. But yet again, we've gone through the colors a billion times. We just have to go through it again. Now, even without CSS, you already get a lot of things out of the box. For example, maybe you want it to be striped. Well, progress bar striped. And now it's a striped progress bar. Or maybe you want to animate the stripes moving, because a lot of people like doing that. Well, progress bar animated. Now it's animated and you didn't even have to write a single line of CSS or JavaScript to get an animated progress bar. And of course, just because it's a progress bar doesn't mean you have to use it as a progress bar. For example, let's say you're working with disk space. Let's just remove all of this there. And here we can say width is 30%. And then we copy this. And here we say 10%. And here we say 20%. That's 30, 40, 50, 60. Meaning we have 40% over, so 40. And here we can say this is success, or we can add the background here, BG. Success. And we can add a background with all of them. And here we can just go like that. Boom. And instead of success, this one can just be blue. And then instead of success here, we can have danger. And then instead of success here, we can have secondary. Now, and of course, let's just remove this secondary here. Maybe make it dark. There we go. And now we have a progress bar that's filled up to the brim. And we just need to change all of these widths as well to match their given widths. And 40. And now, boom. So here we can say this is free space. This here could be Linux, because that's maybe your Linux partition in your space. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just ignore me. This here could be corrupted. And in this here could be unpartitioned. Anyhow, so now we have a little graph that's showing us how much free space we have on our disk. How much of the disk is taken up by our operating system, in my case Linux. How much of my disk is currently corrupted, and how much is just unused everywhere. So this is just an example of what you can use. It doesn't need to be something with disks, but it's just to show you, just because it says progress bar doesn't mean you're limited to making it a progress bar that loads from one point to the other. Cool. And then last but definitely not least, we can take a look at another thing that allows us to view progress. Well, not really view it, but you get my point. A loader. Now, usually when you want to create a loader, especially with CSS, it's a hassle, to say the least. I hate creating loaders from CSS. I use a library any day to instead do it with one line of code, like we're going to do now, by saying dot spinner border. And we covered this a little bit in a previous tutorial, but now we have a spinner or a loader. And here we can also change the color of the spinner by saying text and then the color. I don't know why it's text specifically. I think it's just so there's fewer classes they had to make when they created this, but it's fine. And here we can say something like primary, and now it will be blue. Or danger, and now it will be red. Yeah, that is danger. And as I said before, in the previous tutorial, it can just be grow as well. And now it will plop, 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 instead of spinning. Some people don't like it when it spins. I guess I understand. And of course, just like in the previous tutorial, we can make it shrink by going SM, and now it will be nice and small. And of course, if we change this to border, then it will be a small loader. And we can put this inside of a button like we did in a previous tutorial, and. So this is also the basics of a spinner. There's not too much about them really, and there's probably more you can use, but for right now, this is more than what we need anyways. And yeah, that is that with Bootstrap and progress viewers, I guess. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all again in the next Bootstrap tutorial.